Something like that. Hopefully you got some food, you got a drink, whatever it is. You're here and ready for some more mystery racing. We got two. It's a double match. Gonna have races, screens on the top and on the bottom. Two separate races. Those certainly will probably be comparing all four of them. The first round is everyone's got to figure out IRC again, so that you never know how long the first round is going to take. That's great. That's great news. Oh no.
Does that? How about now? Yeah. Okay. Hello. I'm not muted.
How's he doing? I can say, hello, Internet Dirigible. How was your day?
It was good. I work at a school, and so after tomorrow I have 2 weeks off, and so I'm very much looking forward to not working for 2 weeks.
As does everyone
Yes.
who gets the opportunity to not work for a little bit.
TheGons has been around for quite a while. ThorOfKenya fairly new. Is this already a losers? I feel like ThorOfKenya already had a match. I'm checking the bracket.
This might have been the one that was the first round 2 match.
Wow. Yes, you're right. We've already got a winners 2 match. Or the front 2, as we say in the biz. As
This
Maurice
one
has already said in the biz.
This one specific biz that we are, that is an overlap of 2 completely separate other bizzes.
Absolutely. And then our second race. And this music, I wanted something a little bit better, a little bit more pumped up.
I can't hear it, so I'm in a vacuum. I'm neutral.
Oh, can you not? I bet you could if you turned up the Discord stream, because I do think it does come through.
Oh, you turned it on. That was
Well, that would do it.
We also got ZenicReverie versus Quartz.
Zenic has been here for all but one mystery tournament. Is a constant presence throughout this whole mystery tournament history. Is pretty good. Probably better at
Yeah, it
older
turns
stuff.
out if you play mystery games for that long, you can't help but get at least a little bit good.
Yeah, absolutely. Quartz is fairly new. Actually did quite well last year. Doesn't have a lot of experience. I know with retro stuff, they said they'd never used an emulator before they used one in Mystery Tournament last year. So,
Wow.
yeah. But, I mean, still played some Game Boy game called Mega Lit and did pretty darn well. So, I don't remember what else I played last year. I can't pull that up, unfortunately. We only have this year's matches in this little view.
Yeah, picked up a win as well in their first mystery tournament, which isn't something that happens to everyone. You've got a pretty good chance of not getting any wins.
It's true. Yeah, quarter of people don't. Just stats, people.
By the way, your Discord stream is showing me. I see the flybys over the various video game worlds, and not the other thing.
This is easy.
I've noticed it's like OBS will just like flip a coin basically, like whether it shows you the scene you're on or the preview, like the edit mode one.
Well, against Maurice's better judgment, sometimes because of that, I just don't use studio mode, and Maurice would be very mad if he were here, but he isn't. And so sometimes I like to be a little bit of a rep Uh, but I
All right,
I am
good
looking
news.
forward to this. This is our second double of the day.
Yeah, well, I mean, the matches come in pretty hot and heavy at the start, right? Everyone's excited.
Mm-hmm.
There are the most matches to be played, so the beginning's pretty wild. It's all pretty packed up.
It's true. Yeah, we pulled a. By the way, I don't know if we've gone over it, but we often will redraw when pulling a game if a competitor has played it before, because we prefer blind races. Obviously, kind of unenforceable. We're on the honor system here, but I think everybody's on the same page. And so there was a game drawn that I think obviously our racers have definitely played before. And so, especially Zenic, having been here for a very long time. And so we're moving on. And with the double, that's going to happen double as often. So it might take a while to get just the best game that everyone's not heard of.
Yeah, that's true. That was a good one, though. If anyone didn't know that one, it would have been cool to share that. Everyone joins Mystery Tournament for different reasons, but I feel like most people, one of their reasons is I want to see new games. I want to be exposed to something.
Mm-hmm. That's like my number one thing. I'm a big retro game guy. Not everyone here is, honestly. Surprisingly enough, that's kind of where the roots of Mystery Tournament are. But, I mean, there's a lot of really cool freework stuff, too. I mean, I think a lot of my submissions are random stuff that I find on the issue. But yeah, there's some powerful submissions. On the, you've been seeing MT flashback games, which is what we're calling backups this year, and it's kind of flashback in two different respects. They're going to be mostly retro games, so flashback in that way, but then also flashing back to having been played in previous MTs.
We recently had the Best of NES marathon, and I've been helping to run that marathon for years, basically, from 2015 to 2017. And I was around 2014, so there was like 4 years where I was like, if there's an NES game, I probably heard of it. I probably know a little bit about it. I probably even know a little bit about how to speedrun it. But there are so many, and there's also more and more homebrew games. So there was a surprising number of games at the marathon this year that I was like, what the hell is this? Daydreamin' Davey over here is visiting historical locations in his dreams and like shooting people in the elbow in a western and then running around with a toga and a spear and then going to hell.
Yeah, Daydreamin' Davey is quite a game. There's NES games are kind of wild. It's I feel the same way about NES games and PS1 games, where like you can it just keeps going. It's like where I thought I was into this. Like you can like think that you're like an enthusiast, and then all of a sudden you're in a situation where you just never even heard of these things.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, man, there's recently we played an NES game. This is spoilers because I did not put it in the backup pool. That was something about a werewolf. I had never heard of it before. You know about this game?
Is it just Werewolf?
Werewolf: The Last Warrior. It's called.
This is an Andrew G of Super Mario Brothers fame.
Oh, okay.
Had the world record forever in that game. Is currently playing Excitebike. Also had the record in Werewolf for a long time. That was like his side game.
It's funny because it's truly awful. It's got to be one of the worst programmed NES games that I've played. I mean, I know of some, like, I haven't played Action 52 or like some of the awful ones, but like, it's like really bad. But I get how you could like have fun with it, but man, it is not good.
I haven't actually played it, and I can barely even picture it when I think about it.
It's kind of not good in a fun way, though. Like, I enjoyed playing it. It's not fair enough for M2 to do so.
This is the sickest dancing emote I've ever seen. There are so many on Twitch, but
he's doing the like Fortnite dance with the oh man, that's so good. That one's pretty good too. I noticed someone that Cyro posted the other day. There's a lot of dancing.
That one's okay. But the way the camera's like panning up and down on this guy.
We have our own dancing emote, yes. Sour Keys, which I think is really funny because of Sour Please, and then this is called Sour Keys. It's just so good. Exuno came up with that from the great PlayStation classic,
Mitsubishi.
Which we found a long play on YouTube, which was just like the same game, but it was called something else. So apparently, sometimes it's called something else. But sometimes we play games that are mysterious. There's been quite a few games where, like, me going to a previous mystery tournament competitor is like the only way for me to acquire a game because it's now gone. It is probably the most boring sprite in the game, but it is the one that most looks like it's dancing to me. I think Mooware did the job of actually flipping it out.
We've been reminiscing on the retro games of the past, but the game that's been chosen here is anything but.
No, it is brand new. It is on Steam. I played it. Well, I had a little bit of fun with this one. And my brother was over, who's also in Mystery Tournament, and I had him play it. Because I didn't feel like it. I said, why don't you play this one? He's better at FPS games than me anyway. And the game is pretty darn good. But well, I won't spoil too much about it. We'll talk more about it when it comes up. But I had a fun time watching him play it.
I'm looking
and then
forward to
I
it.
did tag in for a level or two. I gotta get out of work mode and click on the correct browser shortcuts that aren't work related. Oh man, we just got full lyrics here.
Oh, River City Girls. The beat 'em up, loosely inspired by River City Ransom.
With made by Way Forward, the company with the bounciest characters in the biz. You got a bouncing character. Way Forward had a hand in it, I'm sure.
No, you didn't miss any ground pound. That's
Maurice does
from Maurice's
the ground
personal
pounds.
collection.
It's not that I'm not capable of doing the ground pound. It's that I've chosen not to do the ground pound. So take that what you will. but it is indeed in Maurice's personal collection. I would have to ask him for it. I at one point I put together like a playlist and downloaded a bunch of songs from previous MTs, but I never really found a good way to play it through the stream.
One of the racers in setup was like, oh man, these controls are something. And I was like, really? They seem pretty standard. And then I took another glance over and I was like, oh, well, there's also that, and that, and that. Oh, and that?
Yeah, it kind of just... Basically, the game that we're going to be playing, you could consider it a tech demo. It's got levels, but it really feels like it's more sort of showing off what a game could do. And so it probably introduces mechanics a little bit quicker than an actual game would. You know what? And just the other day, hold on, I should hold up the race first of all. But just the other day, I posted on the community page of this game because I noticed it updated in my library, but there were no patch notes. And I was like, well, what did you change? Because I don't want it to break. So I posted in the thing and I said, what did you change, please? And let me see if I ever got an answer.
Yeah, that could be important. We very infamously had a game set aside for this should be the first race of the tournament. It's a nice introductory, cute little game, nice simple game. And we had it, and then the players started doing something that the testers had never seen before and completely changed the way that you played it. It made it way easy and was kind of janky. And yeah, it had turned out the game had been updated in between testing and us having our players download and play it.
Added a setting for inverted mouse looking and made some small visual changes to the tutorial text. Nice. That's just fine.
All right. One of those things where, oh, I added the second world.
Yeah. Honestly, I might just go for it. What's the worst that could happen, right?
You can no longer jump. Yeah, they decided.
Well, that hat game that you were just referring to is interesting because if I remember right, what they added, maybe you said this because I was not reading that thing, but trying to find it. But what they added made the game like stupid easy. It was like it made it so it like wasn't even fun.
Yeah, it used to be like you would carefully plan an arc to throw your hat or something. And they changed it that you could just throw the hat in a straight line or something, and then also you could like chain hat throws together, so you could just be like jump, throw hat, jump, throw hat, jump, throw hat, and just like fly over the whole level.
Hey, yeah, that's Zuno telling a ball game called Malice, but it's in first-person mode, so we're in first-person mode in the ball. Massive motion sickness warning, even looking that up, by the way. I want to just give you a warning. Looking up footage.
It's truly wild. I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah, I submitted it to MT. I should not have. That was my first year involved, and that was not a good submission, but it was funny, and I stand by that. But, yeah, we went to play it later for Reject Tournament, and it just said most of the levels weren't there. It's kind of lame.
That sucks. It would have been perfect for top 8 of Reject Tournament. Like I tested it, right? And I had such a wild experience with the game that my comments were like, look, if you got to reject this, I get it, but this could maybe go in top 8.
I knew it was that kind of game where it was like too wild to. I think the motion sickness warning might be too extreme. I mean, it like might honestly be problematic.
It's just ethically not okay to even ask people to consider playing the game. The race is gonna start soon.
It is. Oh, it's already going. Hold on, let me switch over.
Yeah. It's gonna be
Oh no, we're in 4-player. The game is. Oh, once it all loads in, prepares the stream. The game is called Spring Dash.
So let me give this to you. WAS does move, space is jump, shift is slide, left mouse to fire, right mouse to spawn sapling. Also, additionally, space, you hold it to wall ride. Mouse middle is grapple, E is dash, and Q is vertical boost. So there is a lot of movement here.
Let's find someone who doesn't have voice in their audio. So yeah, this is kind of a simple, but not so simple, movement platformer. You know, in the vein of like, I don't know, Ghost Runner. But yeah, basically, you have a little weapon that you're about to get. When you get that field of flowers, that's a checkpoint. You can bounce on these targets. And then you can also dash, and then eventually we're going to get a grapple, and then eventually, I think there's even something else. Oh yeah, the timer.
Oh, and spawn sapling is basically like a rocket jump without the rocket launcher.
Yes, but it's a little weird because you don't like turn around and shoot it. You put it under your feet. It bounces you up, and it'll maintain your momentum forward. That was my brother kept trying to turn around like he would with a rocket launcher, but it doesn't exactly work like that.
Yeah, and the default FOV is got to be over 100 here.
Looks like everyone is stuck with it. I guess they haven't really had an opportunity to change it.
So where is everyone in the race? Hard to tell. A lot of similar technology. ThorOfKenya just transfer to a really high ledge that was pretty difficult to hit.
Mm-hmm. So there's a little hidden technique in this game, which involves sticking the sapling just on the edge of something, shoot you forward. And it's insane. You go
small Ame style.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if that's gonna come up. We'll have to see. Or
certainly the players are interested in exactly that sort of thing in order to get the best jump.
Fast slide. The slide makes you go fast. They should be sliding all the time. Maybe the tutorial hasn't told them to do it yet. Oh no, there we go. That's the slide from Quartz. You can tell when they kind of hold it at the angle like that. And I don't know if you actually get more momentum from
momentum.
Yeah. From sliding into a sapling. It feels like you might.
It also seems like you kind of trampoline higher and higher if you keep chaining sapling bounces. A lot of the players keep trying to time that correctly.
You do, and the game actually told you that.
Okay.
You don't really have to... I mean, I guess the timing... You don't want to shoot at the time where it's not even going to bounce you up, but I think the timing isn't great.
Everyone seems pretty interested in keeping that chain of bounces going. They're like, I don't even want to touch the ground. I just want to do giant bounces over most of the level.
I think they're doing that because it's fun, but honestly, it only gives you a boost in height and not in speed, and so it's not always advantageous, because I think you start to slow down in the air eventually. You'd think that if they made the game, for the most, flow state possible, that's how they would have made it, but I really don't think that that's the best strategy.
Well, I think this is a good plan, probably, because that encourages you to be spending time on the ground, and that is going to force you to actually stick to the ground and vary up your movement rather than just going to the furthest platform that you can with each bounce, almost like a golf route through a level. Looks like you can kind of catch ledges a little bit too. There's the wall ride.
Yeah, the wall ride, I think hasn't technically been introduced yet, but it's in the base bin. Yeah, those little guys, Noob says, the knitter of this game, those silkworms, they don't do damage to you, but they do kind of tie you up by shooting little silk at you. So you want to kill them. But there are some enemies later on that are quite dangerous. So oddly enough, it feels like this isn't even a mechanic because we're just jumping around, but there are enemies in this game and it does matter.
So ThorOfKenya has been trying to make this jump to the end of this level for kind of a while. I did see TheGons hit a sapling on an edge and get sent sideways very hard into a nearby tree. I don't know if he realized exactly the potential involved there.
Well, it's not useful in every level, you know? I mean, it's still pretty situational, but you can really make some stuff happen.
Quartz has been on this same section trying to get enough height to get up there. And then there's text on screen saying, remember to chain your bounces. Zenic is following some kind of flower petal trail here.
Yeah. Sometimes the game does that if it thinks it's unclear where it wants you to go, which I think is cool. Oh.
It really seemed like there was supposed to be some kind of platform down there.
You just gotta bounce and make it all the way. There's also a speedometer, which, I mean, I don't know if this is the game for a speedometer, but it does have one. So it gives us an extra data point when we want to chart the way this race went later on.
ThorOfKenya finally manages to clear that last gap and get into Forest 2.
Yeah, and the levels they do start switching up the graphics a little bit, so it'll be a little bit easier to tell moving forward. There's a lot of forest levels.
So TheGons is on this same part that Quartz was. Quartz, I think, is past that now. God, it's hard to tell where everyone is, especially with 4 players.
No. Oh. Okay, so TheGons did the thing where he turned around there. Okay, so what you need to do, I think what TheGons needs to do is chain 3 or 4 times to get that height. There is a limit. You eventually stop gaining height because I thought, well, maybe I can just do this on the first platform in the level and then I'll just fly over the whole thing. But there is a limit. But it's not right. I think you can do 3 or 4. And like if you fall from higher and then do it, you'll go up higher. It's one of those type of things.
Zenic just falls off a cliff. I think it was mostly like a jump input that didn't come out, more so than it was misreading the environment. So Zenic is ahead of Quartz, but I think Quartz is just getting to the end of this level, which would put them even with Zenic in the bottom race. In the top race, I think TheGons is ahead. ThorOfKenya is at the start of level 2, and Gons is somewhere a little bit... Actually, maybe they're both right at the start of level 2.
I think they are.
And ThorOfKenya just cleared the opening.
They're both getting introduced to these mushrooms. So if you notice, you have to land on these mushrooms, and then you'll be bounced up to the same height that you landed on them. Oh! Then I made a crucial error and went flying into the stratosphere.
What happened to ThorOfKenya? They just died mid-flight. They were doing some... So first off, they were hitting the edge saplings for big speed and just started rocketing through the level that they were stuck on for so long. And then just died mid-flight, and I don't know why.
I think you can go out of bounds. There are some kill planes hanging around.
Well, that's a lead change in the top race, for sure. So we got a wall run section there for Quartz. Is Zenic already past that? Oh, no. Quartz, I think, has overtaken Zenic in the bottom race as well. Wait, there's a red indicator that seems to imply, like, damage is being taken from a source back here.
It shows that there's an enemy up there, so that's a bat thing. The enemies are brutal. You need to kill the enemies. It's a priority.
Okay, so maybe that's what happened to ThorOfKenya. Yeah, you just got sniped out of the air. Oh my god.
Also, here's kind of a crazy thing, and this is going to blow your mind a little bit. If you die from health, you have to start the whole level over.
And there's checkpoints if you fall off, but not if you lose your health. Oh.
And I don't think that's on purpose, but that is just how it is. He didn't say he fixed it in the patch notes that I asked him about, so here we are.
So the Gons and ThorOfKenya are tied at the opening of the second level then. Run's going smooth for Zenic.
Yeah, so this is a pretty long checkpoint. I died a lot on this checkpoint.
This is one of these games where you could, if you do it right, you'll be done in like 5 minutes. But it's so dang hard and unintuitive and unclear that it's just going to be so much longer for our players.
Something I do like about games like this that maybe are a little on the jankier side is that you really do get a lot better at the game later on in the race. And like, so if the players went back and played it again, they would be cruising comparatively. And I think that that's cool. Makes me feel like I've accomplished something.
Yeah. Because the Quartz is keeping the speed.
Willing to bounce more than once, and I think that this is really hurting him. It said so on screen to bounce more than once. And the Gons just
Quartz gets like. When there's a literal line of text in the middle of your screen explaining what to do, you really can't fault the game at that point.
No.
Oh, ThorOfKenya just a little bit away from catching the ledge.
TheGons
that's not the way to go.
It's completely brain fried from finding so many things in the advent calendar.
I guess so. ThorOfKenya is not.
Some sort of... Oh, here we are. Okay.
ThorOfKenya forgot which way is forwards. Just jumped out somewhere and like looked left, looked right, and was like, none of this looks right, and just like jumped into the clouds and died, and was like, I'm gonna let this point me in the right direction.
It can happen. It can happen.
Okay, so it's now reached the wall ride section.
Yeah, Thor doing kind of a wacky sapling. I think what I ended up doing in this section that made it take so long for me is I was just really overcomplicating. Like, you really just want to run forward and don't try and do anything too fancy, but the fancy, it pulls you in. It tempts you. Because you want to be a gamer. You want to be parkour. We all do.
You want to be parkour. ThorOfKenya killing the birds was the first player to learn that you absolutely must kill the birds. The movement in this game is so wild. It's absolutely the kind of game where I would just assume, like, man, nothing can catch me. I'm flying. I'm bouncing. I'm unstoppable. No one could ever. But these enemies just seem to have perfect aim. No
yeah, I mean, I
distance.
can't wait to see some of these later enemies because they're legitimately like very dangerous. Yeah, the grasshopper is powerful. Don't do it again. No, just bounce multiple times. You saw what it happens, TheGons. Oh my gosh.
Okay, so Zenic is hitting
go.
a checkpoint.
There we
yes.
Go.
Force 3 completed for ZenicReverie, the first of
Zenic
any
moving
player
on to
reach it.
Forest, as they say.
Yeah, that's what it's called, probably. Sometimes I look over to see, like, okay, how's it going for this person? And they're not even like pointed the right direction. Like, their screen is just brown because they're facing the brown underside of a level that you can't grab onto, and it's just. Checkpoint for ThorOfKenya.
Saplings on walls, yeah. So here is where Zenic's supposed to, bounce himself up and then shoot himself forward like a madman.
That's a kick. That's a kick and a half right there.
You can bounce yourself twice to go higher and then shoot yourself when you're a little higher on the wall. Oh. Almost didn't make it, but we're good.
I would probably have forgotten that there's a jump input in this game. I would it would just be saplings. Like, that would be my jump button.
Yeah, sometimes you want to just jump. You can't forget about the jumping bit. It happens in Cyberhood too. Sometimes... No, now I lost it. I was gonna say something, but I don't remember what. Oh, it's hard to tell how much, like, air control matters in this game. Like, if you're going backwards, are you traveling just as quickly as if you were facing forwards? I don't know.
I've never been very good at feeling those sorts of things out as I play a 3D first-person game.
Yeah. Me neither, which is why I don't know, having already played this. Because I couldn't tell them either. And I was in the zone.
Thor with a nice quick 1-2 to get a wall boost. This one clearly is another one. Whoa!
Then it got a...
Something up there.
D-boost. Oh, the grasshopper. Oh, no. Okay, so the grasshopper lands next to you and has a shockwave. He's gonna knock you into the void. You gotta kill this grasshopper. Also, I kept forgetting that I had a wall ride. There's just like a lot of stuff in this game.
And we haven't even got to some of this other stuff, right? Dash, vertical boost.
Grapple.
Grapple. This looks good for ThorOfKenya. Oh, it's right where Zenic is, actually. But Zenic veers left a little bit. The sapling was a little bit oriented to the side. The grasshopper falls from absolutely nowhere to dunk ZenicReverie into the clouds.
You might think, like, oh, well, these enemies have an aggro range, but they don't. The grasshopper is gonna get you, like, years later, if you don't. It's like that famous Reddit snail thing, you know? Like, the grasshopper is coming for you.
Got you. Yeah. And you live forever, but if the snail gets you, you die, and it knows where you are at all times.
All the kind of armchair engineers are coming out and they're like, look, I'm gonna build a metal box, alright? This snail, I'm gonna cover it in tungsten.
ThorOfKenya is the first one to reach a new world, even. And we got the grapple.
We do. So this isn't my favorite kind of grapple. It rather than swing, it just pulls you forward. But you can still do that to get some good momentum if it ends in certain... We also have scorpions here, I believe. They are mean, and I think they shoot stuff at you. Even though that's not really typical of scorpions in real life. That's kind of the kind of whimsical thing that you can do when you're making what we like to call video games, you know? You do little stuff like that. Little kind of unrealistic touches.
TheGons bouncing on some mushrooms. It needs like way more height than he's getting because he let himself fall because we're supposed to come from way up there. So yeah, resets and gets it on the next try.
Level failed. Oh no. So now Thor understands that you have to restart the entire level if you die by health.
I think they probably were the first player to learn that when that enemy killed them in level 2.
Oh yeah. I'd forgotten.
Maybe even in level 1. Well, actually, I don't know if the enemy killed them or if the enemy knocked them into a pit and then they died. The black screen came up pretty quick and sudden. I'm willing to bet they straight up just died in the air.
Also, the grapple has a range, but it's way longer than what you think it would.
Yeah, also, if you aim the grapple at the very lip of something, it will kind of cheat you onto the platform rather than bonk into the lip
yes.
you're getting pulled towards. So if you just aim it well and it connects, you can just go to the next platform, whatever it is.
As far as whether an ability is or is not busted, I think I'm going to come down on the side of that every ability in this game is busted. It's just that the game is made quite well enough for all our players to take like advantage of that. But I think if they were really in the zone, you would be seeing very short times in this game. It's kind of hard to get in the spring dash mindset.
Quartz going for a 1-2 boost, and the environment did look like it was set up for it, but the angle was completely wrong. Fell very well short of where they're trying to go. And now is going multiple saplings before... I mean, the trail is showing this is the plan.
Yeah. Quartz with the mouse wiggles.
Classic.
It is.
Yes, he's having a lot of trouble with the timing.
Desert stage, and it's a pretty difficult one. I have kind of a vague memory that, like, this is the only desert stage, and then there's a snow stage, and that's the end of the demo.
Well, what's the rules on the grapple? Can you just, like, grapple?
You have that thing in the middle of the screen with the circles, or with the squares. And those get used up when you place a sapling or use a grapple. And you have 3 at once. So as long as you spread them out enough, you're good. But there is a limit. You can't just spam the button.
Okay, the UI is fuzzy enough that I couldn't quite make out what was going on.
Yeah, it's right under your reticle. Oh! ThorOfKenya almost died there, but not. Oh, got destroyed by whatever that was, and is back to the beginning of the stage. With no grapple because you haven't received it.
ZenicReverie is also here on this desert level.
That was a combo. I think that might have been multiple enemies. Oh, it was grasshopper
with a double bounce.
Cactus.
That's Forest 4 completed. Very close race on the bottom, whereas the top is very much not so. Our first place player and our fourth place player on stream are ThorOfKenya and TheGons respectively. Gon's still on actually level 2, I think.
I think TheGons can pull it off. His mind is doing the calculations. He's gonna start getting into the spring dash mindset. It's gonna happen. Cactuses are the one thing where I'll excuse contact damage as like a realistic mechanic in a video game. Like if you just accidentally barely bumped into a cactus, you would get seriously injured.
But if it was just like a guy.
Yeah,
like, oh,
or like a
excuse me, sir.
Goomba? That Goomba's not hurting me with his skin. I don't think so. Or his pants? I don't know. I guess he's got pants. He's got pants in modern art. I think it's just his skin back in the day. Miyamoto didn't know what a Goomba was. He hasn't accepted aside since then.
I still don't know what a Goomba is.
Well, I guess it's the word that means chestnut, which, you know, you could see they do look kind of like chestnuts, but then in interviews he said, yeah, they're like mushrooms, like the toads. People are like, what are you talking about, dude? And then, so, I don't know, it's just kind of, it remains a mystery. Miyamoto trolls people. He says that he's Bowser's mother. There's a bunch of crazy stuff.
And then there's the Galoomba, which really needs to be considered in concert with the Goomba.
Yeah, I think that's just a Goomba on a bad day. It's the same guy. He's just, like, not feeling it.
He gets into work and it's like, hey man, who's here today, man? We got a Goomba with us today? And he's like, we got a Galoomba. Alright, I'm sorry.
They're like, oh, his productivity is like halved when he's the Galoomba. Yeah. The boss is irritated.
Sorry to hear that, man. ThorOfKenya dueling this enemy on the ledge with a double grapple to return to the ledge afterwards.
Killed the scorpion.
Very low on health.
Nobody's business.
That's scary. How do you win a fight against a scorpion without taking a whole bunch of damage? I don't know.
Oh, oh no! I was gonna say you do it from really far away, and then immediately is just destroyed. An interesting thing, so the enemy spawns are static. And you can kill them even before the red bar shows up on screen to indicate that they're there if you know where they are. And I think I did that in this level. I just killed the scorpion from like really, really far away. Because I knew it was coming up.
I wonder where the players are at.
Oh,
this is the sort of game that is... Like, you can beat these levels in like 30 seconds. You can get into a flow state where you build up a ton of speed from earlier parts of the level, and you're chaining bounces and grapples, and you're flying, right? And none of the players are doing that. They're doing whatever they're doing. They're going one step at a time, slowly. And so I wonder what their perception of like how their opponents are doing, and how, you know, is someone else better enough to play this the way that it could be played on the first try? Should they be sticking with this approach, or it's tough to say.
It is. I mean, I think I do want to point out that the momentum does seem to be capped. It's not quite as free-flowing as it looks at first glance. When you play it, it feels more stiff than you expected. But I agree. I mean, just kind of not dying. Well, also, even if they played it even safer, it just kind of didn't die. I think you have all these cool moves, so you want to do them. At least some of them. Oh. That was unfortunate. That was pretty far.
Zenic's grapple was held on a little bit too long, and kind of elastized and flung Zenic back over the ledge. We got the TheGons making rapid progress through the forest. Is actually on the 4th level now.
Which is the final before the desert, right?
Yeah.
This is Desert 1 or Desert 2?
I don't know if I've seen anyone clear a desert level.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I've seen anyone get close. ThorOfKenya is just... Oh god, the cricket. Alright. Took one hit.
Avoided the grasshopper cactus combo. Hitting this scorpion from really far away. Yep, you have the little damage indicator sound, which is really useful. Hit marker? Is that what it's called? I'm not a Call of Duty head.
I don't know.
Dutiers is what they call
Quartz.
themselves.
That's absolutely not what they call themselves. Quartz
no, I've heard it.
Dead. That's a back to the start level sort of death for Quartz. Didn't even see what it was.
Thor is close, but he's... okay. Got a checkpoint here, but could probably just fall off the edge right now. Your health gets reset.
Everything is very far away.
Oh no, it doesn't get reset. What?
It does not.
Never mind.
Well, that sucks. Big boost. Grapple to the floor. Is it
Here
enough?
We are. Desert 1 completed.
Desert 1.
Here we are, Snow 1. I think this is the end of the goal. This is where we gain our last mechanic, the vertical dash.
Does this mean they've had horizontal dash the whole time? Like you have slide on the ground, but then there's also dash on E?
I honestly don't remember. If it's in the paste bin, they probably have it. Yeah, I guess they've had dash. I think they've been dashing in the air. Maybe not as often as they should.
Zenik
Even
is chaining
Jimmy thing when
bounces
I
on these
used-
individual rocks.
This game kind of sucks casually. Yeah, I mean, what else is new? No, I agree.
Whoa.
That's what's so fun about mystery tournaments. Sometimes you can play. It makes for an interesting race, but like I don't think I'd recommend it. It has a long way to go.
Okay, so Zenik just did a monstrous drop onto a tiny little rock and then tried to time a sapling on the side of the rock. And it missed, and Zenik died. But if it hit, I would have loved to have seen both the magnitude and the angle of whatever boost would have come of it. And then I saw ThorOfKenya dashing through
Yeah, so there's
sort of
ice.
a waterfall.
It's ice, and
Oh.
it really speeds you up. Oh, grasshopper.
Right, so it seemed like this is the way to go, to me. And then the ice seemed to just the grasshopper just ending that run. The ice seemed to deposit them into the clouds below. It seemed like it was just there was nothing going on the other side. It was kind of rude.
So there's two things going on here. First of all, you're not as wrong as you think, because it's close to what's happened. But there is a little bit of a ramp at the end of the ice, and there's like a circular like string of rocks. You can see a circle of rocks, you might call it. And you're supposed to grapple onto one of those to kind of propel yourself forward. Part of the issue also is that Thor is doing the slide, and I think you actually just want to walk forward there so you can jump at the end instead of having to slide off, which gets you a lot less height. So mushrooms only bounce you as high as you fell from.
Enough to get up there, and that is the dash power up. You get both.
Dash.
You get vertical and horizontal.
So I guess that's when you unlock the dash. So I mean, with all of these powers, yeah, there's an ice spider.
Sure is.
He's just kind of... Your dash is limited. I think he was gaining it back from being so close to the platform.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. I'm not sure how that works exactly.
TheGons is still on Forest 4. It made rapid progress through Forest 2 and 3. It was looking like maybe we're going to get a surging comeback, but progress completely halted on 4. And Desert 1 for both players on the bottom still, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, there's only one desert, so... It's a close race on the bottom.
Whoa. Okay. Stuff is happening. Thor is fighting some sort of scary portal bug and also a grasshopper. Oh, just collected a trinket. That's okay. We don't need those. No, it does not.
The dash.
So it refills your health when falling in a pit if at the last checkpoint you had full health. But if you get a checkpoint with half health, that's going to be preserved. But ThorOfKenya has finished. GG. Official SRL
34:41.
41.
And an immediate forfeit from TheGons. Despite finishing that level, Forest 4 is just is done with this level. Done with this game. F this janky AS is the done event.
TheGons has forfeited.
A sentence it's more letters than words. But we got a close race on the bottom still. 2 levels to go. I've seen Zenik take this particular route, rock to rock to rock to rock, and then kind of gets to the bottommost rock and is like, well, I can't keep doing this, I need to do something else, and then the answer to what that something else is does not come by the time the last rock goes speeding past their field of view.
I think this is really kind of anyone's game on the bottom. I guess I should switch to that, but I haven't. Added in Maurice actually made a convenient way to switch to match 2. But it's hard to add into OBS in the first place. I'm gonna do this. We'll see them soon. Hopefully they don't finish the game in the amount of time that it takes for this to happen. No, I didn't download the update yet. I got home at 8 and then immediately started streaming. Here we are. Get some Zenic audio.
So Quartz is on the snow level. Pulled out to a lead. Looked like the grapple kind of detached early there for Quartz. Crankdown started much later than the other players, and has managed to download the game and then catch up and surpass. This is definitely a Crankdown sort of game.
Yeah, although I think mostly the Crank Dead games tend to be a little bit better than this, but it's that style for sure.
Oh, Quartz, just before falling into the death plane, manages to save himself. Is trying to chain these grapples together. Oh.
Yeah, I hope this game is coming to VR. The dev is actively working on it. I know that much. Crank Dead, would you say that the momentum has a pretty significant cap? That's why I thought the physics felt weird. It just felt like you could only actually speed up so fast, and then the game would like really try and slow you down. Like there was a lot of air resistance.
It definitely seemed like they were able to keep a lot of speed coming off of a wall run on Forest 2. There was a section where you wall run to wall run, and then you come off of that, and you can be moving through the air pretty quick after that.
Desert 1 completed. This is a race.
Quartz gets to the ice launch for the first time, and much like the first time we saw it on ThorOfKenya's screen, really didn't know what the follow-up was. Oh, it's going to grapple to the far platform. Maybe something that could work.
It's also a little disappointing that the game only gives you a dash for like about 20 seconds, and then you have to finish the game. Because I would like to have the dash the whole game, probably.
I was aching for these players when they were bouncing off the saplings over and over and over and going really high but not moving forwards at all. I was just like, oh, what if you could just hit a button and just start going right now? Wouldn't that be so good and convenient and feel good? And there's the rock. It was moving to the right, so it did carry Quartz off course. It did manage to catch the right part of the platform with the grapple, so is maybe now going to die to a grasshopper.
Also, sometimes the music distorts like you're playing an old broken VHS tape, and I'm not sure if why that's happening. I think it's on purpose, but it is a little disconcerting.
ZenicReverie's first time to find out that the ice slope doesn't really like I expected it to take you through the Ring of Rocks.
The interesting thing
And
is that
just
the
really
Ring of
does
Rocks
not.
looks really far away based on the shading. It looks like it's like the background or something. But it's
Yeah,
real. It's right there. I don't know why it looks so much further away than it actually is.
you can grapple to it like probably well before the jump on the
Yeah.
ice
Yeah, the grapple is
if you
massive.
bother to point your cursor at it. So with a death, a proper death, Quartz is back to the first checkpoint on the level now.
Wow. Yeah, this game has proper deaths. It has like semi-deaths and like real deaths. And the only real death is when it's caused by another's hand. Oh!
There's a quote for you. Put that one in the database.
Sometimes you just gotta, like, when are you gonna do any poetry in your real life, right? Like, you gotta take the opportunities where you can.
I love that move from Quartz. That grapple was extremely well placed in order to not only get them onto the platform, but not hit the platform and thus keep all the speed afterwards. We're getting really close. Yeah, here's the dash.
Zenic is making progress, but now that Quartz has the dash, there's not much left to stand in his way.
The ice spider or whatever that was knocked Quartz flying, but looks like they're back on track.
Shraples. That's how you do it.
This might be over. We've seen how powerful the dash is. It's pretty hard to go wrong once you get it.
Oh, almost did everything they could to do that there, but... Oh, okay. Grapple. We still have the grapple. We've got it all. Here we go.
That's it.
GG.
Quartz over ZenicReverie. I'm prepared to call this an upset.
I absolutely.
Oh, and Zenic just now getting the dash. This is going to end up being a close race. It was all through, but we're going to end that way too. So it was about 10-15 seconds ago that Zenic got the dash. Let's see how long it takes to finish the goal from here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, I could sapling down to the ground and boost up there, right? Or I could just grapple up there.
Or I could just dash up. Like, what is, like, it's a little bit... It's a bit much. Oh! Okay, got the grasshopper. Got the trinket.
Coming down on this collectible. So that's the end of the level, just over there.
Here we go.
And that's it.
GG.
45:06 is the final time.
On Steam.
Just a minute and a half behind Quartz.
Yeah, very close race, relatively, and really. Zenic says, comment, couldn't grapple the grapples. That's how they get you. Sometimes we do interviews. I don't quite have time for that tonight, but let's take a look at what's coming up.
Yeah, congrats to our racers. Quartz and ThorOfKenya advance. This is still winners bracket matches, so no one's eliminated. We'll see everyone again. And then coming up in 4 hours, I don't know if anyone's going to be here to catch this one. That Scar versus Rot 8.
Yeah, I probably won't be. I gotta work, so I'll probably be asleep at that time. But we have a wonderful thing called vodcasts, where we download people's VODs who did the race, and we play them as if they haven't happened yet. And most of the time, we haven't watched them anyway, so we just kind of just do it. And act like it's new and fresh, and the people who were in the race can be in the chat on the stream, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, we anything we miss, we like to pick up later. So make sure to have your VODs for other reasons too. But have your VODs enabled if you're in this tournament. At least for, you know, I think the minimum is like 14 days or something. So that's enough for us to grab that kind of thing, or at least review if something went wrong in a race or something like that. But on that note, thanks so much.
We got 4 other matches tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
Happening throughout the day.
We can't even see them all here, but there's quite a few.
So yeah, if we don't come back in 4 hours because someone heroically steps in, then we'll see you tomorrow at these listed times.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining me for Commentary Myth. This was a fun double. It's going to be 2 races. They combined it into one. Nice. Nice. Saves...
Thank you very much for having me.
Have a good night, everybody.